Hey guys, John here, host of Mgtow is Freedom. Not going anywhere, am I? Anyways, today's video is women. Why do they marry men? Why do they choose the men they choose, right? Women love to say, wow, I'm not divorcing him for his money because when I married him, he didn't have any, and that wasn't why I married him. I wasn't a gold digger. You've heard all of the excuses. You've heard all of the bullshit, self-glamorizing, self-martyring, self-narcissistic bullshit from them, right? The only reason women marry men is if and only if they think they're going to get a good deal in a divorce. So women can marry rich men, these feminist gold-digging thieves. They can marry rich men and then, say, 10 years later, divorce them and take as much as they can. Take absolutely as much as she can of his wealth, his retirement, his dignity, everything. But women can equally marry a guy who's young, who has nothing. And she's only going to marry him if she thinks there's going to be a good divorce settlement, a good separation package. Now, I think that men can probably look at this perspective women has, and instead of thinking of it as marrying someone and divorcing him, think of it as a job or a professional relationship. Say you were to go to a business, and the business says, I'll hire you and we'll pay you a little bit every month, and when you go to quit after 10 years or more, there'll be a separation package, right? We'll put together a deal, separation package. You get a little retirement along the way, get some perks, but when you leave the business, whether we fire you or whether you leave on your own, you get to have a golden parachute that takes care of you. Right? You'd be like, hey, fuck yeah, I'll take that job. You betcha. I'll work pretty hard. I'll slack off, and the closer you get to that 10-year mark, and maybe your goal is 15 or 20 years, but the closer you get to that goal you've set, the less hard you're going to try. Because you're like, hey, time's almost up on this deal. I'm about to cash in on this motherfucker. Right? I know what the deal is. I was hired to do this job. I'm doing it. I'm doing an okay job. Now I don't give a shit because I'm getting close to that separation package, that golden parachute, that big bonus in the sky. So for years I can cruise on easy street. And then you get there. Now, if you're an especially clever employee at this mega corporation, you're going to embezzle. Right? Not only do you get the retirement package and the special cash severance and the continual paycheck even after you're long gone, you can steal right up front. You can just dip into the account because basically you have an accountant's control over the funds. I mean, and that's not stealing. Wouldn't that be fucking great if you had a job and you could go into the bank account of that business, steal money from it in a sneaky fashion? You don't want to get caught because then you got to explain yourself. And they still won't fire you. Anyways, and you go in there and you can take that money out and put it somewhere else. Just for you. Secret little cash nest egg. What do you think women do when they're being courted by you? You're damn straight they're doing it. They're looking at you like a business proposition. And what are you telling them? Look at the size of my company, right? You're saying, look at the size of my paycheck. That's what she hears. When you say, look at the car I drive, she hears, look at the perks. When you say, I have a house and it's paid for, or I have a house and some rental property, she hears multiple corporations, right? Big, fat assets. And then you say, well, what I want to do is is marry you. She hears, I want a business merger to make you a full partner. And all I have to do is show up with my tits and vagina. And you don't even say, there's a package that develops at 10 years so that when you separate, you get half my shit. You don't even have to say that. She hears when you say, I want a business merger, business partnership. She knows all I got to do is put in 10 years. But if I put in 15 or 20 or 25, I'll get even more. That's what women hear. That's what these feminist women hear now. You are not a man. You're not a human. You're not her soulmate. You're not the love of her life. Oh, yeah. You've heard people say, man, I love my job. It's a great fucking job. I love it. I love doing what I do. I love getting up in the morning and going to work, kicking ass. I love that shit. I'm a man. I love my job. That's all a woman is doing. You say, hey, I love you. And she goes, I love you too. But she's saying, I love my job. I love knowing that after 10 years, I can leave you and take half your shit. And the longer I stay with you, the bigger my retirement package is. The more of your shit I get. And the longer I'll get alimony, which is a continuous severance pay that continues long after the employment is terminated. Can you believe that shit? That's what they hear. That's what they're saying to themselves. And then they also say, well, fuck, I can even embezzle. All they're doing is a merger, a business merger with you. And they're setting up you to work hard so they can complain that you work too hard. They set everything up so they work the least and get the most. Marriage is a business relationship. And women only these days, maybe not in the traditional good old days, but now women approach everything only if they know they're going to get a severance package from the program. That's why women push for marriage. Else why would they? They fucking hate men, these little feminist whores. They hate men. They hate you. They hate you. They hate you. Whether or not they scream the mantra of patriarchy and male entitlement, whether or not they say those words aloud, it's in their head. Even if they don't know the words, they know the practice. They know what they're entitled to. They know what the value is of marrying a man. It entitles them to the efforts that man has, long past the time of divorce. And they even have the ability to demand that that man not buy things with money he's made, but go into debt. That's right, to go into debt on his paycheck, on his good name. And she can leave and take a cash position and leave him in debt. That is the program. That's the program. Women won't marry bums. Oh, they may fuck a bum for a while, keep a guy around. She might think she can fix him up, kind of like you fix up an old car, right? Buff out the paint, right? Change the oil in the engine, throw in a can of STP so the knock quits. See if you can get it to work and see what you can get out of it. Shit, sometimes women find themselves a gold mine with regard to that guy, right? Holy cow, this guy was awesome. He's just laying around dusty and fucked up, no one taking care of him. So she'll pick him up, dust him off, put him to work, and then once he's worth the shit, then she'll marry him. And then she'll put in her time, and then she will divorce him. See, I had a friend, and I still consider him a very good friend. His name is Mitch. He had a girlfriend. He was with her a number of years. It wasn't until he got a job, a good high-paying state job, $100,000 a year type job. Then she decided, then she accidentally got pregnant, and then they got married. You know, at the time I didn't see it because I was just a young man. You know, and now Mitch is divorced. Her picture on Facebook doesn't have his name next to it, and he's not in the pictures with her. What's that tell you? What's that tell me? It's the same story, and it's been that way a long time. Women will stay with men, and once they're a good deal, once they've got them fixed up, once they're making the money, then they'll commit to them because of the fucking separation package, right? The severance pay they're gonna get. And it's amazing. Let's look at alimony not as severance pay, but rather as unemployment. Because that's really what it is. If a woman's married to a man for 10 years, she gets 5 years of unemployment. If she's married to a man 20 years, she gets 10 years of unemployment. That makes a lot